Arrow functions in ES6. Arrow functions are a shorter way of writing functions in JavaScript. And with the help of this ES6 syntax, we have arrow functions today, and it is used a lot in React and Node.js. So before learning React and Node.js, it is essential to understand how to write the syntax of arrow functions. So normally in JavaScript, we can define functions in two ways. First is by the function definition, which is function get name, say, and then it will return name1. This is a normal function definition, and this is also available. And another form is function expression, where we create a variable first, such as get name2. I will make this get name1. We make a variable get name2, and then we define an anonymous function, which is function, and then we return name2. This is called an anonymous function because this part of the function, has no name like this. We don't write the name of the function here, we simply write the function keyword and then the parentheses and the braces and then return the value of the function. Once we store the reference of this function in getName2 variable, then we can call it later by console.log getName2. Now when we check this by running node test.js, alright, the name of the function is different, node arrow functions.js. We see that name2, this get name, is being executed. So this is the basic of functions, but now we need to know about the arrow functions. Arrow function is very similar to anonymous functions here. Okay, so we can define another variable called get name3, and in arrow functions the first thing that we need to do is to put a pair of parentheses. Then you have to create an arrow which is equal sign and a greater than sign, and then you need to open and close the braces, and this is it. This is your function, your arrow function, which is so short and concise. Now inside this function body you can return name3, and then when you log it, then you can see, here you need to do name3, get name3, this variable. So when you run this code, you can see name3, which is this arrow function. So we have omitted this function keyword and we just use the parentheses. Now there are a couple of cases that we need to remember. The first case is when we don't have a function body, but just have a return value. You can see here in this function we are simply returning some value. We are not defining some other statements like console log this, that. We are not defining other statements. If we have only one return statement, then we can omit these braces and simply return this value in the syntax that I will show now. Let's define get name4 equals to a function arrow. It has to return name4, so we will simply write name4 here. Now when you run this in console log, you will see that name4 is executing. So when we don't have other statements and we only want to return some value, then we have to put the return value after immediately this arrow syntax. Now this was the case 1. For different cases, the arrow function syntax differs. It does not differ by a huge change. The changes are very small. Now when we have no parameters, as you can see we have no parameters, this function is taking 0 parameters, then we have to put these braces. But if we have one parameter, case when there is a single parameter. When you have a one parameter, then it is optional to use parentheses. Let's say const get name5 equals to. So here we can take a single parameter, let's say title, and then we can put an arrow sign So here you can see I'm not putting any parentheses here, just the name of the parameter should be used here, such as title, and then I can do the return value or write a function body, whichever you want according to your need. Now I can do a return value by concatenating the name with the title. Now if I call this statement getName5, now it should display the name as John. Then last name. So here I am taking two parameters, first name and last name, and here I must put this parenthesis. If I omit this parenthesis, there will be an error. It's only possible for one single parameter. Now I can do like that, first name, I'm just returning something, so I don't need the function body, plus last name. I have added a space here. Now when I save and try to run, getName6 John Doe. Now when I save this and call this function, this arrow function, I will see John Doe. So these are the three cases that you need to remember. The first is when you have only one single return statement, then you can omit these braces and simply put the return value after the arrow sign. If you have 0 parameters, remember to always put the parentheses. But if you have only one single parameter, then the parentheses are optional, and the return value part is same. It will follow the same. If you have more statements, put a function body, and if you have 2 parameters, then it will be required 2 or more parameters. So this was it about arrow functions. You can use this anywhere as a function expression. Since this acts like an anonymous function, like this in normal JavaScript, how we write this, like function keyword without the function name. So this is very same, you can say it's just the same as anonymous function, just the syntax is a little different and it's more convenient for the developer. And also it is short and concise. So thank you for watching this video, and please like, comment and subscribe to the Merge Stack.